and welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Stacy, and I am a special needs mom of a little girl that's 7 years old. And I like to think of our life as we are splashing in the cesspools of special needs. And in our life, there are many things in the cesspool that we come across. And one of those is what I would like to talk to you about today is stemming. With stemming, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because stemming was never on my radar. I had no idea what it was before I had Ari. And so I would like to take the time to help educate others on what stemming is. So we're going to look at 4 things. What is stemming? What are the behaviors or examples of stemming? Who stems? And is there something you can do about it? So starting out with number 1, what is stemming? Stemming is short for self-stimulatory behavior, a way of stimulation. The stemming can come and go according to different circumstances. And sometimes stemming can get better as a child matures. Stemming is basically a release of all this that has been building up. It's a channel out for different situations. And so that is where the stemming behavior comes from. So when we look at stemming, some of the common stimulating behaviors include biting your fingernails, maybe twirling your finger in your hair, cracking your knuckles and other joints. It could be tapping your pencil on a desk, jiggling your foot, whistling. And for some people, it can look like rocking back and forth, flapping of hands, kicking, pacing back and forth, walking on tiptoes, pulling hair, repeated words and phrases, maybe rubbing the skin, repetitive blinking, staring at lights, even staring at ceiling fans and watching them go around and around, and rearranging objects. Kids with special needs, you will start to see, some of those behaviors that I started with flapping of the hands and shaking, rocking. And one of the other things that they do is they will spend hours on end arranging toys instead of playing with them, lining them up in the line, separating them out from colors, being very detailed in the things that they do. Then there comes the stemming that can cause physical harm. That would be headbanging. There's been kids that headbang against the wall, glass, anything that's around them, punching and kicking, maybe hitting themselves, excessive rubbing and scratching the skin, maybe picking scars and, digging within their skin. Some, might even, swallow dangerous items. So those are some things to look when you're trying to decide if it is stemming or not. We'll move on to who stems. Now, I was surprised by this, but as I look back with my boys growing up and things like that, I can now see, how stemming is actually something that a lot of us do. Almost all of us stem. Almost everybody engages in some form of self-stimulating behavior. Like I had explained in the beginning, that it might be biting nails for you. It could be tapping, your pencil on the desk, acting like you're playing drums. Things that you would do when you're nervous, anxiety, or something uncomfortable it needs to relieve tension. But the one thing with most of us is that if we're given a clue or a cue from somebody like a teacher to stop banging your pencil on the desk because you're driving us crazy, that can control the behavior. We can control that behavior and realize that it is something that is unwanted. But for some special needs kids, it's hard for them to process the cues that are given to stop those behaviors because they are releasing of that tension. They do it to maybe stimulate the senses or decrease a sensory overload. They may do it to adapt to an unfamiliar place. Like we said with everybody, reduce anxiety, a way to calm themselves, maybe vent frustration. And especially if they have a problem communicating effectively. So those are some things that we can look at as for stemming. Some people can control it. Some people have a little bit more issues. So then the question comes, can stemming be controlled? And part of that is yes. For most of us, if there is an unwanted behavior, we can work on that to control that. And we can make changes. Now, do we always want to make changes? Is this something we should always interfere in and stop? Well, then we need to ask these questions. Has the stemming caused social isolation? Has it been disruptive in school? Does stemming impair the ability to learn? Does it cause problems for that individual stemming or for other people, like family members? And is the stemming destructive and dangerous? Are we looking at some of the more dangerous stemming behaviors? So once you ask yourself that question, and if you choose to dive in and find ways to manage the stemming, as we did, I'm going to give you a bunch of different tips and things that you can do. Before I go there, I would like to share a video of Ari. Now, Ari didn't start stemming until I would say 4. And again, going back to, I had no idea what it was. All I saw was this crazy girl flapping her arms with her mouth wide open and tightening every muscle in her body and pointing her toes. And I'd look at her like, what in the Sam Hill are you doing? And I would just say, knock it off. Stop. Calm down. And it was only because I didn't know what the heck she was doing. No idea. None of my boys flapped around. My boys did have a friend who, when playing video games, would hum and would hum loud, and we would just know that that individual was playing a video game. We all knew it, but I never had a word for it. So I'm going to share this video with you of Ari, and I want you to look at her. This is when Ari is well aware of her stemming. We had worked on some of it, and like I said in the beginning, I suppose I could look at it that it was my issue. I didn't want her looking like that. I didn't want her flapping around like a crazy duck, and it was almost out of control, but she was trying to be in control. And so it was more my issue until we started working on it, and it suddenly became something she no longer wanted to do. It irritated her that she does that. So in this video, you will see that she isn't quite flapping crazy, but you can tell she's trying to control it. She even puts her hands behind her back to try to control it.
It's the GMC Denali season upgrade. Get over $12,300 total value this year when you finance through GMC.
Okay, welcome back. After watching the video with Ari, it's it's something that I wish she didn't do. Not only that I don't want to see her doing that, it also kind of breaks my heart after that video, noticing that that is something that she didn't want to do. Now, to share with our story, one of the things that we have done is I started giving her CBD. Now, with all the studying and everything that I've done on CBD, I understand that it is something powerful and can be very life-changing for some people, actually a lot of people. And giving Ari the CBD, I just kind of watched her, and stimming wasn't on my mind. But about a week after starting giving her the CBD, it was one night watching TV, and I had noticed that she wasn't stimming. She didn't stem. And thinking back, I'm like, when was the last time that she stemmed? And could this really be from the CBD? Did it really help? And so we continued to do the CBD, and we continued to see no stemming, which was a moment. And then came the time that I didn't reorder. I had no CBD. I had to wait 7 days for it to be mailed and brought back to us. And what happened during that time? We're back to stemming at night. It was like, are you kidding me? And I was just shocked. And so, of course, I couldn't wait to get the CBD back to see if that is really what changed her behavior. And so we got it and instantly pumped those pumps into her mouth. And from there on out, the evenings, we had no stemming. And so I have to give credit to the CBD and her stemming. And it was one of the biggest blessings in our life, because with Ari not wanting to do something like that, she no longer had to spend that time and energy on focusing on that. She could focus on what she was doing. She didn't always have to be aware. It was something that was no longer present, that she did not have to spend that energy trying to control that. And so for us, I'm glad that we took the steps to manage some of that stemming. So what are some things that you can do outside of the CBD? Some of the things would be trying to stick to a daily routine and similar tasks day to day. Reducing some of that stress and that anxiety when taking them to a new doctor. Maybe before going to a new doctor, you want to slowly just kind of go into the office and check things out. Not for the appointment, but just check things out for the next time, so it becomes more familiar of a place to go. That would reduce some of that anxiety and some of that stemming. The other thing that you want to do is, one of the things that we had done with Ari is with her flapping. As I would sit by her, I would hold her hand, thinking that that would control. And it did control some of the stemming. Other things that you could do is put something in place in her hand, with their hand, so they could squeeze it and do other things like that. Now, they're still doing the stemming behavior, but as my daughter, she's not looking like a crazy duck. So those are some things. The fidget spinners. There's a lot of therapy tools for pencils that you can, spin on your pencil instead of tapping the pencil, or things like that. The other thing that you want to look at is if they are dangerous behaviors, you need to, set up a safe environment for your child, whether that's soft mats or things that they can't hit their head on hard, being there to protect that individual. If it continues to be an issue, then you can work with your educators, most important, your occupational therapy, and possibly your doctor on, working out a plan to deal with those. Now, that was short and sweet on stemming and some of the things that we have gone through. Now, if you would like to make a change, such as we did by adding CBD into your child's life to see if that could possibly help you and your family, then drop a big ol' yes in the comments box, or you can message me. Probably the best thing to do is offer that big yes in the comment box and message me. And I'll get back to you and I will share what we are using, how we are using it, and the benefits. There are so many benefits that we have seen with my daughter. The other thing that I would like you to do that you can help, even if you're not needing to change something in your life or in your children's life, maybe you want to be that helper of another special needs family and you want to share this video because maybe that's going to bring the light that they need to get one of those things out of the cesspools of special needs life. Could possibly be, one of those things that just brings another ray of hope in their lives. And here's the dog. So again, share this video because somebody might need the help. You might just rock somebody's life because you shared this video. You need more help? Yes in the comments, message me. And I'll be back with more things out of the cesspools of special needs life. Take care.